intend to bring a coding as part of the curriculum in this secondary school. Then infrastructural development. For ease of doing business, doing government business, we have, for ease of doing business with MNOs, that's mobile network operators, we have low tariff, and then we have a very good plan for them for their ease of doing business. Okay. Then we have the fiber optic connection throughout the MDAs. We have the radio link. We have the intranet. We have the broadband internet access. And then recently also we have partnered with Odua and Franco for statewide fiber connection. We have collaborated with many institutions, NCCde for policy, NICOMSAT on satellite uplink for radio, ATC, IBM, General Electronic, FUTA, OSWESTEC, Microsoft, Google, and Cisco. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be presenting for Kebbi State. If you could put up the slides, please. Kebbi State. Okay. Okay, next slide, please. I'll begin by the creation of the ministry. Kebbi State Ministry of Information and Communications Technology was established in January 2020, this year. We in Kebbi State have taken a proactive approach by relating to what's happening at the national level by establishing the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology as a standalone ministry. Now, this removes the bottlenecks and all challenges faced when ICT is placed under other ministries. The ministry recently, despite the effect of COVID-19, has been able to achieve a lot, mostly in developing, in partnership with Ncccde, Galaxy Backbone, the NICOMSAT, and other relevant stakeholders in developing a policy document for ICT and the state. Next slide. That's on e-governance. Now, the ministry is positioning the Kebbi State government to achieve e-governance, albeit though the COVID-19 pandemic that slowed our progress. The ministry has resumed on achieving this mandate by creating the Kebbi State Management Information System. The Kebbi State, prior to the creation of the ministry, also runs a functional website. We also have public financial management, which is also a portal where the public can access all budgetary allocations of the state. Next slide, that's on training and capacity building. Now, in achieving this e-governance policy, the ministry realized the importance of training and capacity building for the both public and civil servants. Now, the training is, the first phase is meant to commence this December for all honorable commissioners and permanent secretaries in the state. Secondly, we have access to email services, which is mandatory across all MDAs. And then lastly, in terms of rolling our e-government services, we're having a state server that hosts all our data. Next slide, which is on internet access to MDAs. The ministry has reached advanced level of discussions on provision of internet access to all MDAs in the state. We've engaged consultants which are currently addressing the peculiarities of deploying internet access across the state. Next slide, which is on e-learning platform. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the ministry designed and developed an e-learning platform for students to access online resources. So additionally to having these resources, their class is available through radio and television. Even when they miss or try to use their mobile devices, they find those resources available at the platform at ekebbi.ng. And then we have the Kebbi State Data Capture Portal on the next slide. Last week, Saturday, which is the 21st of November 2020, the Kebbi State Ministry of Information and Communication Technology launched the Kebbi State Data Capture Portal. And now we've realized the need to create this portal to address a peculiarity of our state. The aim is to use technology to actually solve our local problems. One of those problems is the challenges that people have when trying to assess social investment programs across our development partners. So the portal is there to make sure we collect the right information. For those that have wrong information there, we have a mechanism that checks and finds that information that's wrong and get them to correct it, so that when there is an available opportunity for them, they will be able to access it. Now also, this data helps the state government to properly plan, and as well for development partners. The data is also available for any development partner coming to Kebbi State to have insights about the population we have in Kebbi State. And then lastly, we have the e-procurement platform and the Kebbi State Geographic Information System. Both of these projects, consultants have been engaged and are discussing the peculiarities of developing and deploying these systems in the state. Thank you very much for listening.
Well, thank you to Kebbi. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the quick interruption. Just to say, we'll have to follow the procedure we announced earlier on. The next state should be Imo State. Imo State will be followed by Kaduna, and by Niger, by Taraba, by Gombe, by Plateau, and then by Oyo. Please, in that sequence. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Engineer Dr. Nnamdi Iheatru. I am presenting this, doing this presentation for Ministry of Science and Technology, Imo State. Yeah, Imo State. First of all, Imo State has produced websites for the Ministry of Science and Technology. That is the additional thing from what has been in existence, because Imo State already has a website for the state. So coming on board of the new Commissioner for Science and Technology, we had to develop an interactive website for the ministry to engage the general public in the activities of the ministry, as part of the core mandates of the ministry, which include development of ICT infrastructure and, of course, supervision of government ICT centers in the 27 local government areas in Imo State, and also supervise the job center in Imo State. Now, on ICT infrastructure, the state has developed the local area network for the ministry. So if you go to the ministry now, you could just come with your laptops and then log into your login, maybe use email to transact government business using your unique username and password. And then we are extending this 10 kilometers radius from the ministry, so covering all the MDAs and the ministerial departments in Imo State. We're also encouraging file management system in order to implement paperless environment in the state. And of course, office automation and also other shared services like sharing printers in the ministry, and also encouraging other ministerial agencies to key into the program and then for effective government business. And so the infrastructure that has been developed. Of course, we know how this works. So you can just come into the ministry with your iPhone or your laptop, and also other computers in the ministry. Again, in terms of security, we know the problem caused with the recent NSAS protests. So we had to go develop this security surveillance system, whereby we have the state has implemented the installation of CCTV cameras at all the entry points in the state. Capacity development centers. So we have ICT development at the 27 local government headquarters in Imo State. A total of 50 computers for each local government have been is fully functional in the local government areas. So these are some of the pictures of the trainings going on at the local government level. I've captured in different local government. This is Okigwe local government area. We have this Ngopala local government area with solar panels, installed. So we are doing this in order to trickle down to the local government because of the COVID-19 pandemic. If you build a government even website and it's interactive, and the people you are building it for are not able to interact with the website, then it makes no sense of the whole thing. So these are some of the pictures, trainings going on at the local government level, and fully functional ICT desk officers posted at these local governments. Now, in the area of e-governance, in capacity building, we have a totally trained since last year till now, that's November, we have trained almost 2,000 youths. In the area of e-governance, we have, Imo State has established a data center, and that data center has been used to automate e-payment of salaries and pensions of Imo citizens. Again, the magnanimity of the executive governor of Imo State, he has reduced the right of way for optic fiber laying in Imo State, and that is one of the things Galaxy Backbone is presently enjoying. I'm delighted to inform you that here right now,
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm presenting for Kaduna State. On human capital development, the first criterion is ICT equipment supplied to schools and other institutions. We distributed tablets to all the SS3 student and secondary schools, and the state government has acquired 1,500 computers, which is part of the initiative to acquire at least 1,000 computers yearly to support public service. Establishment of ICT institutions, the state government is currently working on establishing an agency for e-government and digital economy in the state. In fact, the bill is before the House of Assembly. Support to ICT institutions, ICT support clusters have been deployed across the MDAs. Adoption of modern workplace initiatives, training government officials on the use of Microsoft Teams, email exchange, SharePoint, Microsoft Office packages, and Zoom. Training program has been designed to cover major areas of capacity building in IT, project management, governance, and others. We also have an overseas training. Just before the lockdown, 3 of us went to Harvard for a course in digital economy, digital transformation in government, transforming public policy, innovating public policy and service. Collaboration with ICT institutions, we have collaboration with Microsoft, UBA Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, MasterCard Foundation, Zenith Bank, First Bank, among others. Infrastructure development, low tariff on right-of-way, reduction of right-of-way and resettlement charges to less than 145 naira per linear meter, protection of ICT facilities. We are adopting all the roads that are part of our urban renewal project in order to accommodate the laying of fiber cables in the state. Investment in ICT infrastructure, we are driving broadband penetration across the entire state through strategic engagement with MNOs and infrastructure providers. Ongoing deployment of IP surveillance systems in the state, ongoing deployment of drone surveillance, building an integrated technology-enabled statewide security platform. Framework for relating with ICT service providers. The state currently employs the use of partnership models with OEMs and their partners. It is the state's enterprise agreement with Microsoft. Earlier this year, we paid 500 million as Microsoft Premium. Signing into Smart City Initiative. Kaduna State is currently implementing a subsidy project to increase safety across the entire state. Overall ICT development, the state vision, government ICT vision, a research strategy and roadmap has been approved for implementation by the State Executive Council. Progress in implementation is 45 to 50%, and we have spent over 700 million on ICT budget. We have empowered 205 youths with digital skills through Click on Kaduna program in partnership with the World Bank, a Rockefeller Foundation, entrepreneurship, digital marketing, graphic design, and content creation, data science, web design, HTML, etc. We have initiated the process of training 34,000 youth in IT professionals, Google's, Microsoft, etc. 1,000 youths for technical training and business training in Kaduna State University and Kaduna Business School. We are rebuilding ICT support organization in Kaduna State, focusing on developing relevant ICT skills for users and support staff at all levels. The policy framework and blueprint, we have enacted, amended, and domesticated laws, regulations, and guidelines required for e-government and ICT use in Kaduna State. Develop and communicate governance and guiding principles for the design, deployment, and usage of IT in government. Partnership with NCC and NCCde on capacity building and network broadband infrastructure. Entrepreneurship and capacity building programs delivered through our CAD ICT hub. Use of ICT in service delivery. Digital identity initiatives through the Kaduna Resident Registration Agency. A resident database has been put in place to ensure the government can make data-driven decisions to improve service delivery within the state. Deployment of interoperability technologies, enterprise service boards, the ESB, that will ensure seamless exchange and transfer of information between government, MDS, and external system. Deploying technologies that provide access to numerous channels of finance. Kaduna State is encouraging banks to roll out agency banking service across the state. Collaborating with international development organizations to support financial inclusion initiatives. Currently undertaking a study on financial inclusion sponsored by Bill and Melinda Gates for the ease of doing business, and under e-government implementation we'll have the BATMIS and so on and so on and so on.
Good morning. I'm presenting for Niger State Ministry of Tertiary Education, Science and Technology. Please, the slide. Niger State Information and Communication Technology project, programs, and activities. The current economic and COVID-19 realities has led to the mainstreaming of ICT activities in Niger State using local content. Niger State ICT Vision and Mission Statement. The vision is to attend an information and knowledge-based society that is efficient and technologically enabled through a nationally competitive ICT industry. Mission: to provide excellent infrastructure, support and innovation in the delivery of information technology products and services to maintain highly effective, reliable information systems that will support instructional, administrative, and research functions in Niger State. Establishment of Niger State Communication Technology and Digital Economy Agency is an agency that will perform ICT development and regulation. It will monitor and implement ICT policy programs and activities in the state. It will empower youths to acquire ICT skills and prepare them as active players in the digital economy. IT infrastructure. Niger State government has been making efforts towards the provision of ICT infrastructure for good governance, Mina Metro internet connectivity for government agencies in Niger State. The project is aimed at providing a wireless internet signal spanning 38-kilometer radius in Mina, and this project is to form the basis for the state ICT infrastructure backbone initiative towards connecting all government offices and the public with internet. So far, we have been talking with various telecom companies to come in and assist us in achieving this project. E-government. Niger State is adopting and implementing an intelligent, targeted e-government service using ICT as a key enabler to enable effective and efficient governance at its policy trust. In achieving this vision and policy statement, the populace in using ICT tools at an affordable cost is anchored on people, process, and technology. The e-government strategy is being operated on the state robust web portal www.nigerstate.gov.ng, of which the following is being adopted in the e-government portal: transactional e-payment platform, e-procurement platform, web-based solutions, and social media usage. Niger State nominal and payroll solution. All these solutions are local content being built, developed, and designed by the state workforce. This is the Niger State nominal and payroll solution. It's a robust e-initiative that is geared towards aligning the personnel information and payment of salaries of the state workforce. The solution consists of the following modules: the dashboard modules, the nominal and payment module, payslip module, ID card module, deduction reports, and audit module. This is the UI for the nominal and payroll solution. To give you the statistics, the total number of civil servants, MDAs, the amount paid to each MDA, and the total cost projection for each month and annually. The next slide is the payments by MDA, the deduction, and the contribution as regard to wages. We'll give you the analysis, that is the statistics. This is the nominal role. The Niger State web portal has been expanded, redesigned, reconfigured to integrate all MDA website. This is the landing page of the website. The Niger State pension registration portal is a solution designed to effectively and efficiently audit the record of pensioners on the state payroll. This is the login. Next slide, please. Open contracting portal. The solution is aimed at opening up public procurement in Niger State through increased disclosure of procurement information to all stakeholders in view for transparency and accountability. This is the open contracting portal. Next slide, please. We have projects. The citizen, civil society organization, even contractors can participate in executing the project. To give you the analysis and the statistics of each project: expansion of the official email server for state workforce on .gov.ng server. First stage has been completed. The executive legislature, thank you.
Good morning. This is Taraba State Ministry of Science and Technology. The I'm pleased to be here, and I believe that with what we have learned from other states, we'll key into some of the development in ICT. But by and large, we have some activities that has been carried out under the year under review. Below are the lists. We attended the e-governance visual meeting organized by the Federal Ministry of Science and Communication and Digital Economic. During the period of the pandemic, the State Ministry of Education developed an e-learning platform. During the NSAS palaver, I will not call it protest, there was chaos everywhere. There was they broke stores and everything. So the state government and the local government deemed it necessary to engage the youth. So a training on the ICT and other technological activities were organized for the youth of the 16 local government of the state. We wrote a letter of partnership with Ncde and the Korea International Corporation in developing the ICT and the e-government services in the state. Presently, there's a bill before the State House of Assembly to convert the College of Agriculture to a College of Science and Technology. This is to help develop the ICT and the technological sector of the state. We still have a bill before the House of Assembly to develop the State Information Technology and State Information Development Agency in the state. The state government is making a proposal before the end of the year to provide mobile ICT van for secondary schools, mostly in the remote areas of the state. And finally, the Taraba state government is open to investors in the ICT sector in the areas of the agricultural sector, tourism, education, and the mineral resources. There are many potentials that are abound in the state, and we will invite you all to come and invest in this ICT sector. Thank you.
This is Gombe State presentation. His Excellency, the Executive Governor's approval for the pooling of ICT staff is still being implemented. Out of the 130 billion budget for the year 2020, over 1 billion was allocated for ICT. We got Nccde license to operate as a provider for Nccde national identity number. Digitization of due process for e-procurement has been achieved. We procured ICT equipment and built website for GOSEC, Gombe State Independent Electoral Commission, and Teacher Service Commission. The Ministry of Justice is being digitized. We provided 45 laptops and bought 45 low pavilion for judges. The Ministry of Science and Technology coordinates all ICT programs in the state. The state ICT policy has been fully developed with the support of Ncde. Provision of Gombe State biometric staff attendant is on progress. Right now, it is being piloted at the state special hospital and a primary health care development center. A good working relationship exists between my state government, particularly the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, and the federal agencies under the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. If you are all here, you must attest to our visit to all the MDAs before the advent of the COVID-19. The Executive Council approved downward review of right-of-way for fiber optics from 1,500 naira to 145 naira as requested by the Honorable Minister. 5 hectares of land has been allocated, is there, for the establishment of Ashisi village. Citizens and community heads are helping to guard telecommunication infrastructure in Gombe State. The ministry collaborated with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, and trained 200 entrepreneurs online, as well as 60 virtually. ICT staff have concluded plan
to massively train the public servant in Gombe State beginning from January next year. Gombe State Geographical Information System is fully in place with all the management to handle land matters. A sizable number of the MDAs have website, and I must add here that His Excellency gave us the approval that the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation is the only MDA that will procure and distribute ICT equipment and build websites to all the MDAs in Gombe State. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm presenting for Plateau State. So, Plateau State government has an ICT development agency established by law. The agency is under the office of the executive governor. This is from the realization that at subnational level, ICT development wouldn't be possible without a strong political will. However, the agency is under the supervision of the Ministry of Science and Technology. The agency is headed by a Director General with the sole mandate of implementing the ICT policy. We went through the whole process of policy formulations involving private sector, involving other government MDAs to make sure that we are together in developing ICT in Plateau State. So in January this year, the ICT policy was adopted by the State Executive Council just before the lockdown. Now, one of the things we realized in Plateau State is that strengthening the IT institution was very, very vital for us doing whatever we want to do. Otherwise, we'll spend money without any form of sustainability. And one of the key things we did with the policy is, first of all, passing the policy, developing guidelines that target certain policy areas. One of them is the establishment or the creation of the ICT procurement guideline, more like a domestication of what NCCde has. That way we're able to stop a lot of duplication of projects and all in Plateau State. Now, with this guideline, duplication of IT projects in Plateau State and also protected local IT companies, because in the guidelines, we realized in building the digital economy in Plateau State, we have to strengthen even the private sector. So the guideline protects the private sector as well, giving them the first right of refusal before projects and contracts related to IT is taken out to the state. We have a financial management system powered by SAP. We are currently retiring that, and in some few weeks from now, we'll have SAGE running in Plateau State. We have deployed e-procurement platform. Our revenue collection is a one-point revenue collection platform. Every MD has a dashboard where they see collections coming from everywhere in Plateau State. Our debt management portal is up. It means contractors can see what the state is owing them as a form of transparency and accountability. Key MDAs. Every MDA has a website, which is a subdomain in the general Plateau State website. Plateau State is NDPR compliant. We are interested in data protection, and so our board of revenue has filed audit for NDPR, and so we are currently in the Ministry of Finance. We started a digital skills training called Plateau State, that got a lot of traction. The purpose of that is to train a critical mass of people in the digital economy. Plateau State has created the first innovation hub powered by a local government called the Compa Innovation Hub. This we did to experiment digital assets in rural communities. Now, as a result of Elevus training, we have also built the Plateau State Local Content Development Office to leverage on support from private sector and onshore support for the development of IT skills in Plateau State. We are the first state to establish CCTV camera surveillance across all borders. Our staff are distributed across all MDAs to ensure that IT compliance is ensured. Every ministry has intranet, although working in silos with data centers. Our next focus is to integrate. There is an overall increase in ICT investment in Plateau State from 50 million to 150 million and now 350 million, with additional resources coming from respective MDAs. So we have MDA provisions, IT provisions for IT. We currently pass a guideline called I for I, Internet for Innovation, which makes it compulsory for all MDAs to open up their internet to innovation hubs and public places. That way, we are trying to strengthen access to digital resources and also enable people to be IT compliant. Our major partnerships are our local companies within Plateau State. We have sent civil servants training with the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, supported by COECA. We are one of the major contributors. And then we are also at the verge of passing a guideline that puts digital skills into the career progression of civil servants and all. Like I said earlier, our focus as a result of the lockdown was to strengthen the institution of IT by making sure that policies and guidelines guides how Plateau State implements its ICT development in coming years. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here to present for Oyo State. Okay. All right, please, next slide. And next, I'm going to try and rush this to be with the time. In Oyo State, our vision is to become a technological powerhouse that effectively uses technology to tackle traditional problems across different sectors: agriculture, healthcare, education, while providing accurate data to our stakeholders, citizens, investors. Our mission is to use technology to increase the efficiency of all government business processes, to leverage technology by developing innovative solutions to provide an enabling environment for the creation of knowledge-driven jobs, and to effectively collaborate with stakeholders within the emerging Oyo ICT ecosystem. Next, please. Please, let's skip that next. So I'm going to take us through the categories we were giving: e-government implementation, ICT infrastructure development, and human capacity development. So please, let's run through. I'm going to take them one by one, so please, let's run through to where we've presented. So please, next. Next, please. Yes. So with our e-governance project, first we have a fully functioning, what I would call a web portal, oyostate.gov.ng. This is pretty much a one-stop shop for all information in Oyo State. A lot of our government services are also integrated into this portal, with every MDA having their own specific URL. Please, next. A very important part of the website is our citizens engagement, what we call Oyomi. With here, citizens are able to interact, to give feedback to the government with anything from the citizens' budget. You can comment and interact on the budget. You can report an issue. The issue can be ranging from infrastructural challenges, healthcare, environment, trash, etc. And we have our Oyo State directory. Names, addresses, contacts of all Oyo State institutions, be it fire, healthcare, security, and so on, are all listed: names, addresses, numbers, and the contacts. Next, please. We also have our OCDS, Open Contracting Data Platform. With this platform, we have all our contracts in Oyo State, from the tendering process to the disbursement of funds process, all online. It's there for everyone to check. So every single contract awarded is there in the public domain for anyone who's interested to see. Next, please. Next, we have our e-procurement portal. With this, it's a portal by the Bureau of Public Procurement. Anywhere from vendor registration to the procurement cycle itself can be viewed here on the e-procurement portal. So all the phases of procurement, all the way from registration. Next, please. We have our job portal. The Oyo State job portal takes us through, yet again, the whole job process application, from application, scheduling, decision-making, CBT exams. Till date, this year alone, we've processed over 200,000 applicants through our various MDAs. We've also used it for various recruitment, TESCOM, and Montekun, etc. Next, we have our digitized Oyo State CFO. We've digitized processing and collection of all certificates of occupancy in the state, so completely eliminating the manual process. Next, we have our, I'll move on. We have our digitization of digital tools for the whole civil service. Please, next, we have our Oyo State COVID-19 platform to automate results for COVID-19. We also have our telemedicine application. Next, please. We have our EMIS, Educational Management Information System. Next, we have our Oyo State Crime Alert app. With this application, anybody in an emergency can just press a button. The button, this red button, really gets your location. If you have a video camera, opens your video for any security personnel or required personnel to come to your aid immediately. Next, we have our business process automation and attendance management. We are in the process of automating all workflows in Oyo State to
Okay, you were surprised that he was shut out, right? We apologize, but it's 5 minutes for every speaker. The judges are instructed to stick to 5 minutes. Anything after 5 minutes is not part of the content. The mics just automatically go off. But that doesn't detract from the quality of his presentation, so I'll ask you to please applaud him for the time he spoke. Okay, thank you. But I think you'd also give the same applause to everyone else who would come, all the states, 20 states in all. That's fantastic. Please, gentlemen and ladies, let's clap for the 20 states that are in competition today. It's really amazing to have that number in Imo State. We thought it would be much less, but 20 that are pitching. It's fantastic. It's awesome. There are more states who are not able to make their entries. Some state that asked to enter the competition a bit late, but there will be another opportunity. It's an annual event, so if you didn't make your entry this time, prepare for next November. I don't know where that will be. Usually the council will decide and we will know. But again, we've had wonderful men and women who are the judges over here. I would ask you to please clap for them as well. Many of them have over 30 years of experience under their belts. Really, we chose them specially, and they're a good mix of government and private sector. They're not new to the issues they've heard, so they'll do justice to all the things that have been talked about. The results will be put together by them as we break. Remember, the council meeting starts today. Before it is the opening ceremony. And I have it on good authority that our leadership is also waiting to join and have the ceremony conducted. But I thank you all for your patience so far, for the early morning start and up to this moment. So I will give the judges time to put their scores together. The rest of us will be at liberty to go for a quick breakfast, at most 30 minutes, and we'll reconvene to restart proceedings for the day. If need be, we'll approach you with more information, but for now, you will go in this sequence. Break for tea, quick, return in the next 30 minutes. That will be about 10 to 12. We've lost time already, so we have the opening ceremony 10 minutes to 12 here in this hall with you seated. And We will let the results be announced at the time that's appropriate for it. The permanent secretary and the council members will take their decision. It's been a pleasure facilitating the program so far up to this point. I want to thank you for your attention and ask you now to please stretch and step out for breakfast. Thank you and good morning.